Good evening, and greetings, everybody. I want to just welcome you out because tonight is our first in our 5-part series of quality of life. And this, let me get all situated. This is a new series because life just gets so overwhelming sometimes. And I wanted you to really have something that you can kind of sink your teeth into this month. Now, it is March, and March is Women's History Month, which means that historically, we have been creating things from the beginning of time. And somebody decided that it was finally time to acknowledge women and make sure that we kind of got our just due. Now, when it comes to this month, I like to think about all of the people who have probably helped you along your career, the people who have helped you along your life, the people that are special to you. And what I come across all the time is that a lot of times certain women may not feel like they're special to themselves. Now, I don't know where you got that from, but I'm here to tell you that when we look at, or I specifically look at quality of life, what I like to think about is what is it that really makes you happy? What is it that also makes you money? What is it that you can combine a passion that you have with something that is going to be lucrative for you, that's going to fill you internally, that's also going to make you feel good on the outside, and that is something that you will want to do over and over and over again. And when I look at quality of life, I want you to understand a couple of things. I don't think that it is just where you live, how you live, even though I think that that's important. But I also think it is you being appreciative of now and you also setting goals for what you want to do in the future. So when I look at that and I look at the different goals for myself, I am personally setting goals that are way higher than anything that I've ever achieved for because of the fact that I recognize life is expensive. Not only is life expensive, there are things that you just want that maybe cost more as far as time goes, right? How do you spend your time? Are you spending it where you enjoy what you do? And so when I look at my quality of life, I'm going to just tell you the story of how this even came about. I was chosen to speak in Arizona in October of 2021. Never been to Arizona. And not to say that Arizona was one of those places that I wasn't even thinking about, but it really wasn't necessarily on my radar like, okay, let's go to Arizona. Okay. And that's probably because a lot of times you think about going to like a tropical island or, Miami or somewhere, now Arizona's hot, but it's not really like something that you're thinking about. But let me tell you this. Arizona has got to be one of the most beautiful places that I've ever been to in my entire life. It gave me a sense of what I like to use for my word of the year, calm. I now feel like I definitely want to go to Arizona at least once a year. And my happy place for all of these years has been New York because I'm from New York. And so I always felt like I needed to get grounded and I needed to feel the concrete jungle. I needed to smell the smells and see the sights. And I get excited when I get to the bridge. You kind of might get excited when you're getting on the subway. Or if you're like where I'm from and you're in Mount Vernon, you're taking the Metro North into the city. Like it's just little things that New York does for me and for my spirit that I can't really get anywhere else. But the person that I am evolving into, and that I think a lot of us are evolving into, especially as we have gone through this last 2.5 years of COVID, this series is important because we are now understanding how much of a priority that we need to make ourselves. Like, it's really great to care about other people and to be compassionate, but it starts with you. And so if you're not having the quality of life that you want, then we need to really examine that and see what is it that's going on that now you can put little pieces of it into something that's a daily thing, a weekly thing, or even a monthly thing. This is not telling you to go do something drastic, but it is saying that you can have some type of gratification while you're working toward the big thing, because your big thing might take a couple of years. So I'm just going to be honest. My big thing is probably going to take about 5-6 years, somewhere in there. But it doesn't mean that I can't do a whole bunch of little things in between that time frame to get to where I want to be in that 5 years. And I don't like to plan 10, 20, 30 years out because, things just really change. If I had tried to do that and then I could have never predicted that COVID would have happened, would have had a plan that was sitting there that wasn't work. So when we talk about just looking at quality of life, if you look at it from the perspective, and I mean, I don't want to be morbid, but this is just how this is going to go today. People that say when people are dying, right? And you have to look at this. What we try to do, and so I'm going to speak like I'm a hospital, a medical professional, is make them as comfortable as possible because you know that the inevitable is coming. Give them as much love and time and tenderness as you can possibly give them. Say the last things that you need to say to people because they're not going to be here forever. What if you took that concept when they talk about those last days, those last months, quality of life, and you adopted that for yourself? What if you talk to yourself as gingerly, as nice, as thoughtful? What if you said to yourself the things that you've been meaning to say to yourself for all of this time and you just didn't? What if you tried to make yourself as comfortable in position you haven't been comfortable before? And whether that's going to be in your personal life or your professional life or a combination of those things, what if you tried harder to make you the priority? When I think of quality of life, I really think like it has to be more and more for you that you feel happy and comfortable. And I know happy is one of those words that over and over again, but I want to give you something that is so simple that everybody can do. Okay. Now, the only way you can't do this is if you live in Alaska and it's black half of the year. Outside of that, you can do what I'm talking about. So there is a theory that is called, when you look at light therapy, it's really not necessarily a theory because it works. So light therapy is a study saying that people get more depressed and more sad in the wintertime because there's just not as much light. And it was such a crazy, strange thing. But you know how you're energized in the summertime, how you want to come out, how you love the fact that it's still light out at 9:00 at night, how you just want to keep on going. You want to do some more stuff when it's summertime, when the light's out, when spring comes and you're just happy that it's getting light earlier. There is an energy that comes from that. So I want to challenge you with your quality of life to get more light therapy in your life. Now, when I say that, I literally mean take more time outdoors. I don't know if it's going to be a walk. I don't know if it's going to be a ride in a car. I don't know if you have a dog that you walk. I don't know if you have some type of activity that you could do. Even if you just sit outside on a porch in a piece of grass, the light therapy is something that will definitely help you to be a better person because that energy that comes in, you will then be able to radiate that energy back out because you'll feel better. So what light therapy does for you is it increases memory, right? So you'll be able to remember things better. And these are just some things that they're saying that happen with light therapy. In addition to that, you get more ideas. And a lot of times people are a lot more creative because now they've been out and then they think about what they want to do. And then it sparks other ideas and it gives them that insight where it's like, now I think I can do something else, right? So these are just some things. And it can also help as far as with health benefits, specifically if you're going to do things like walking and things that are going to include activity inside of that light therapy. So being one with nature, going outside, embracing what you know you already are while preparing for who you are going to become is a quality of life that no one else can give you. Nobody can make you love you right now and accept you for who you are. Now, other people can do that and they can love you for who you are and accept you, but it's you. Once you do that and you really say, I really like me. I really feel like I still have place for improvement, but I'm cool with me. Once you get to that point and then you really start to see, do I like what I have now? Is there something more that I could do? Is there something better that I want? Is there some place that I want to go? Is there something that I've never seen? Is there some goal that I have not set for myself that I need to go ahead and do that? Now, let me tell you what happens. and I wrote an article on Medium about FOGO, fear of going out, because I really did have a true fear of like being around a whole bunch of people, and I still don't want to be around a whole bunch of people. So I thought about that, and I'm just like, I am an extrovert. I cannot possibly spend the rest of my life not going out and not being around people, because that in a way is my light therapy. Like being around people is how I function better. Now I've been able to maintain that, but it still means like there are things that I want to do, places that I want to go, and I don't want to be fearful of going out. So there's the other one when you say FOMO, which is fear of missing out. These are people that want to be at everything. And I used to be a FOMO, like, let me be here, let me go this, let me see this. Now I'm not doing that as much. So part of my quality of life is being selective about the things that I spend as far as my money and my time and my energy. And so I want to suggest to you that with your quality of life, that if you've been in either one of these situations or you're in them currently, is that you can't just be by yourself all the time. You are going to have to go out at some point in time. But for the quality of what you want, what if the experience costs more than you're used to paying for? I'm going to need you to spend that money so you can have that great experience. What if, you something used to be free and now they're charging for it? I'm going to need you to spend that money. What if it's further away because it's not happening now and you have to drive? You need to do that so that way you get to still experience things and you have the quality that you want. There are things that you used to do that are no longer to the standards that you have now. And you've realized, oh, shoot, God, I used to do such and such. It's not time for you to do that anymore. That time has passed. And now it's time for you to find on the new quality that is going to make you happy for who you are now. We have all changed. None of us has stayed the same. As much as people would like to think that they have and things haven't affected them, stop lying to yourself and understand that you have changed. And the things that you want now, the quality that you want in your life will shift or has already shifted. And now you need to build that up for yourself. So even when I have quality of life, like in the beverage choices that I make, like it's certain waters, I'm like, I'm not drinking that water. That water tastes like taps, and not taps with a Z on the end. Like, I don't want to drink that water, right? It's certain things that now you'll say, no, I'm just not going to do that. Certain restaurants, right? So we're having this conversation. We're talking about, do you remember back in the day when you were a kid, right? And this is going to be contingent upon how old you are. But Burger King used to be the bomb. You used to think, first of all, McDonald's was it, right? McDonald's was the thing. Then Burger King came through and crushed the game with those grill marks on it. And it tasted like a cookout, right? But then you move to different places, you taste different things, and I'm not messing with no Burger King burgers or McDonald's burgers anymore, right? And then some people, we don't even eat beef like that. You have to make those decisions and those distinctions as to what the quality is that you want in your life now. But let me tell you where the secret is in this. Y'all ready for the secret? I think you're ready for the secret. If you're ready for the secret, go ahead and type in, let me know you're ready for the secret. This is the secret. So the secret is you didn't know that you wanted better until better came along. You didn't know that there was another option until it was presented to you. And your ignorance of better and the other option kept you in the dark and allowed you to accept some things and allowed you to stay in a place that wasn't giving you the quality of life that you want now. That's the secret. But now that you've been exposed, now I told you things. And even when you look at social media, I see all kinds of things, right? I want you this. Your life is now, and now you see it more clearly, it's an algorithm. The more you see things that you really want, the more that you work toward getting those things because you want them, not because somebody else is having it, not because it's a trend, not because it's just whatever, but you want them. And you don't want to go somewhere just because somebody else went there and you want to stay in the exact same place, which you might, but I'm just saying, You want that experience. And you're realizing now that you deserve to have a better quality of life. But it wasn't until you were exposed, because you didn't know. You didn't know there was better out there. You didn't know there was an alternative out there. You didn't know there was something else that was comparable or just better. Now that you know, you can't go back in the box, right? So now that I know Burger King and McDonald's burgers are trash, I don't mess with those. I don't even think about it. Like, if I went to either one of those places, that's not even an option for me to order. But it used to be, 30, 40 years ago. Now you want to go to places that suit your palate, right? Now the things that you want probably cost more. Now the things that you want might be a little bit more exclusive, right? But you're willing, hopefully, to invest in the experience that you want to have. You're willing to take more time to get what you want, because you recognize that this microwave popcorn society is not just everything that it's cracked up to be. And so for you, there's a reward waiting, because you understand that the quality of life that you really want is there, but you're going to have to do some work in order to get to it. Now, you may be independently wealthy. So if you're watching this and you're like, girl, listen, I'm already past that, I am to that level, then it's your responsibility to make sure that hopefully the people around you are also able to be a part of that quality of life. Because it's terrible for you to be the only one that's really living it and you don't have any friends or family members or anybody that can go along with you in this new quality that you have devised for yourself. Now you may want to lift other people up so that they can enjoy the benefits of the fact that you have already arrived. You've already gotten to this place. And it could be small, little teensy weensy things. So let me tell you what I do. What I like to do is I like to introduce myself to new things. I like to try something that I've never tried before. I like to watch reviews and see what else I can do. I like to find out, okay, well, where else can I go? I watch Netflix shows that show me places and vacation destinations. And there's some places I never even thought about going, but I see it and I'm like, I could see myself there. So I want to give you something simple that you can do starting now, and you can start to see yourself in that life that you want. All right. Because it's about you being able to do visualization. So I've already given you the task of light therapy. Your next task is visualizing yourself in those places and having those things that you want. Now, what I do, where's my phone at? Oh, goodness, it's up here. Okay. Come on, phone. Is I go on my Instagram, because that's what I'm using most of the time. I have two different ways to do this. I go on my Instagram, and when I see something that I like, I save it. And I create different little, things to save. Where's my little save stuff? Okay. And I create categories. So when you go into the Instagram, I already have my little categories of things that I'm interested in. I have goals inside of here. I even got like nails, style things as far as lifestylists. I have cities in here. I have different locations, things that I would like to do, like in a certain life. I have charcuterie in here, of course. I also have like things that I might be interested in posting, things that I might be interested in possibly hosting at different times, things I would love to do for my clients, clothing, all kinds of stuff. And so all of these things are inside of here, right? And then I can go back and I can say, well, these are things that I'm interested in, and these are things that I would like to have. So like, let's just say there's makeup in here. And I look for makeup and I'm like, okay, I want to get that eye look. So then I'll go one time and we'll get the eye look and we'll do that. I see the nails. Well, I don't want exactly that, but I want something similar to that. You go ahead and you do the nails. You can do small things first and then start to work your way up. I even do things like holding on to quotes inside of here and things that I would love to repost because I like the way that they look on here. Things that help specifically with mental health and mental wealth. And, these things inside the phone help me to do what? It's the algorithm. Because if you start saving stuff and you keep looking at the same type of content, it keeps showing you that same type of content. It keeps bringing those things up. So it's kind of like if you were to do sticky notes and you would have put sticky notes all over the place, right? And a lot of people tell you, do your sticky notes and write your affirmation down, put it next to the window, put it next to the mirror, put it in your office, put it in the car. The algorithm is basically your sticky note now. The algorithm is saying you're interested in this. This is something that you want for your quality of life. So we're going to keep bringing this thing up to you. So it's the same kind of thing that you're getting in the algorithm whenever you start to save content and you start to see, well, look, this might not be something that I can accomplish now, but I would like to get it done later on. So it will allow you to be able to keep up with that content, and then you can keep on planning. There will then start to come up, there will be things that are associated to the things that you told yourself that you wanted, that you saved, and you might be able to go to some of those things because they're associated. So I want you to understand that in our quality of life, we have an algorithm. It is a natural algorithm that is built into each one of us. And when we start to want things, we start to see them more often. We start to hear them more often. And now, the way that the literal algorithm works, you may even see an ad come up on your television. You may see it come up in your email for the things that you told yourself that you wanted. And you will continually work towards them because maybe it's out of your budget right now, or maybe you can't take vacation right now. But when you can, you will make sure that you have what you want, as long as you take care of the main things that are important to you. I just want you to understand that quality of life doesn't mean that you have to have everything immediately, but it does mean that you're going to work toward something and you're going to continually build, because it doesn't matter how much money you have. You have people that have $1 million, $1 billion, and they still have some stuff that they want to do. Now, what happens is the more that you get, people tend to want to give, right? And they tend to want to help other people because they've amassed so much wealth. And that's the only other way that they can really show how good that they are. Because once you get to a certain point, which I have not gotten to yet, so I'll tell you when I get there though, the money doesn't even make a difference. It's not as important anymore. But then it's about being able to share that money and make an impact on somebody else's life. Again, I'm not to that point. So I still want my money for me and my life so that we can reach these goals and have this quality of life now. But I'm just saying to you that your natural algorithm that you have, when you want something, you keep on wanting it until you don't want it anymore, which means I got it. Or you get to the point where you're like, I got it and I really like it and I want more of it. And that's where I'm at right now. I've seen a place that I love. I've seen something that I think I could wake up to every morning in Arizona. The mountains call me. And I always thought, okay, I would love to live in the mountains, but I was just like, I do not want to be in the snow of North Carolina, right? The mountains were always, I don't know what it is. I mean, I know it's childhood. I can probably go back and trace it. I have always loved the mountains. I'm not a beach girl. I'll go to the beach. I'll put a toe into like the beach, but not necessarily into the water like that because I'm not messing with the shark's house. But I love the mountains. Arizona gave me that feeling of, I can have the mountains with no snow. I can have the mountains and be warm. And it was just so clean and it was just so beautiful. And I could see what Arizona provided for me. So you'll see how this whole story wraps up. Light therapy. It gave me light therapy every day that I woke up. It made me want to be outside and want to see more. It made me feel like this algorithm, in order for you to live in a certain place and have the lifestyle that you had to achieve more. And nobody was forcing you to make these decisions. You're making these decisions because your algorithm is telling you, I want a better quality of life. I want to do some more stuff, right? I want some things. I want to go some places. I want to see some stuff. And that to me is where we really start to say, it's not necessarily being materialistic. It is just, I want experiences. And part of those experiences could involve material things, right? So you have to look at how you're going to manipulate your algorithm. Because in manipulating your algorithm, if you do what I'm saying, you will keep seeing it. And the thing is, the stuff that you want shouldn't make you feel bad for wanting it. You shouldn't feel like, oh, I'm never going to get it. No, if you keep working toward what you want, you will get get the things that you want, but you're going to have to do the work. You're going to have to put it in so that you can get it on. Okay. Put it in so you can get it on. Let me say it one more time. Put it in so you can get it on. And that's where you're at. Like, you're to this point now where you've realized it's some stuff that you just don't want to do anymore. Some things you just don't like. So now let's make a plan to get from where we're at. Let's manipulate our algorithm and let's make the choices so that this way we can say, we know what we want. Now let's start to get there. So what we're going to do over these next 4 weeks, because this is our first one, is we're going to go ahead and start working on kind of how we do that. All right. And this whole series is free. Okay. Because God be blessing me. He be telling me do this. And when he tell me do some things for free, I do it. When he tell me to charge some people, I charge them. Okay. But let me tell you what's going to happen. Our last session, and I know this is about to be groundbreaking news, is going to be in person. And I know y'all are like, oh my God, the girl has not come out. She has not come out. But our last session is going to be March 31st. It is going to be downtown Greensboro, and it will be an in-person session at Fiberspace, which is at 227 South Elm Street. And it is $35 to attend per person, or $60 for 2 people. You will expect to get some lovely nibbles, because y'all know we get the girl eats, right? You will get some wonderful sips out there. We will have some live activation things for you to do. And we will do our live stream like we're doing tonight, except you will be a part of the audience. Okay. So if you don't live in this area, you can't come to this area, then you can still be on the live stream that evening. But if you live here and you want to be a part of this and you want to experience this and be around other people who are also about this life, about, hacking their algorithm, manipulating their algorithm, and getting the things that they want, trust me, the people that come to our events, forgive it to the people, are always driven people that you can connect with and that help you grow your business. Always. 100% of the time. It's never an event where it's not somebody there that can help you do something. So I suggest that you come out, because it's going to be some amazing people in the room. We always take photos. And in addition to that, let me just tell you, the dress code is razzle dazzle chic. So we want you to come and put on your clothes and have a great evening. And it's not going to be long. Okay. So it's from 7 to 9. So you don't have to be out all day, all night. You can come, eat, drink, be merry. This is not dinner though. So let me just assure you of that. This is nice little nibbles. All right. But you won't go home hungry. So I want to be able to help you feed your mind, your body, and your soul. And that's what we're going to do that evening. And that'll be our final installation of quality of life for the month. But join us every Thursday this month at 8 p.m. And we're going to be building on what we talked about tonight. Now, if you're watching this on the replay, then please go ahead and share it with somebody else and go get your tickets. Now, you can go to giveittothepeople.com and you'll be able to go on our site and you'll be able to click and you'll be able to register and get your tickets. So it's giveittothepeople.com, spelled out properly. And then you can get your tickets now. And mind you, will stop being for sale the 2 days before the event, because some special things that we want to make sure that we have for all of our guests. And in addition to that, it is limited. And don't play around, because we don't play games. You still do have to either be immunized or you will have to have a negative COVID test. North Carolina is playing with your life out here, talking about you don't need certain things. And I'm fine with that as far as, how they're going to do the mask mandate and all of that. But I'm just saying to you, you cannot come if you are not immunized or you do not have a negative test, because nobody is trying to get the vid. Part of our quality of life is making sure that we are healthy, wealthy, and successful. And if we get the vid, that's not a part of the healthy part. So we want to keep everybody feeling safe. So I hope that you'll join us every Thursday this month, and then definitely on the 31st when we do our live in-person event of quality of life. So make sure that you do that you always show up and show out, and that you continue to give it to the people, because you know that we will. Make sure you sign up for our email newsletter. Make sure you check our page. You come to our webinars, any of these things that we're having. But we're having another micro gathering, and this one is actually our first one of the year. So we want to see your face in the place. And don't forget, razzle dazzle chic is definitely the dress code. So if you've been missing that in-person interaction and you also want to be a part of this conversation in real life, then what you're going to do is you're going to join us on March 31st and